Hi, Karen.
Hi, how are you
Hi.
today?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? I'm glad to see you again.
Well, thank you. It's
Yeah,
nice to be here. I'm
you look
glad to be here.
fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Let's see what's going on with you. I know that last time that
Hmm.
we talked a little bit about what was happening with you,
Yeah,
and your situation with your ex Carl.
right.
You want to get me up to speed a little bit more on
Yeah.
that?
So, we've been together for 7 years, and 3 years ago he was incarcerated. He's going to be getting out of jail in the next 6 months.
Okay.
And I go to see him about once a month because he's a couple hours away. And I'm just getting very panicked and stressed that he's going to be getting out. And, I love him. I have really mixed feelings. And so, I wanted to work through some of that.
Okay. What seems to be, what's complicating your feelings about him? You've been together a while. You visit with him. What's happening here? Do you have any
Well,
idea what's giving you that
you
feeling?
know, I love him, but he's not always the best guy. He's not always a really good guy.
Okay. So, do you want to continue your relationship with him? Are you worried about that maybe he's changed, or what do
Well,
you think it could be?
I have a lot of anxiety and I can't sleep because sometimes he was abusive. He'd yell and he'd grab me and things like that. And, it wasn't always good when he was home. But, I feel I'm torn because I do feel like I love him.
So, you did say that shortly after he was incarcerated that you relocated and you
Yeah,
started a new job, and
yeah.
you know,
That's when I moved here and kind of started a new life. I got my own little apartment.
okay.
I got a job. I work at a daycare, and I've been promoted a couple times. Now I'm in charge of a couple other of the aides,
That's
and
fantastic.
I really like it. It's probably the first time I've been independent. Um, it's less money than I'm used to. I have to
Okay,
budget and everything, but it's good.
that's great. And
Mm.
what else has been going on with you besides work? Are you going to school? Are you doing some different trainings at your job? So I know you
Well,
say you've been promoted. Does that mean?
well, promoted. I'm not quite a supervisor, but I am in charge of a couple of the other girls there.
Oh, that
So,
sounds good. So it
yeah,
sounds like you really made some changes. Tell
yeah,
me a little bit about your life with Carl, because I know you're feeling some anxiety about him coming home. And
yeah.
I'd like to
Well,
know a little bit more about, your past life with him.
okay. So this is really hard for me to talk about
Okay.
because, I do have mixed feelings. And um, he the first year we were together, he pushed me a couple times, and I thought, he won't do that. He loves me. He won't do it again. It won't get worse. Um, I, sometimes it was, just verbal yelling at me, and then we'd make up, and he'd be really good or whatever. But it got worse, and then sometimes he would try to control me, and if I left, he'd grab me by the arms, and I'd get bruises on my arms. And then before he left, it had accelerated to pushing, shoving. He slapped me a couple times.
How are you feeling about that?
It makes me brings tears to my eyes because I was afraid of him sometimes.
Okay. Did you ever seek professional help? You
No,
ever go to counseling? No.
no, no. He would say, we don't need help. We can, we don't. He didn't think it was a problem for one thing,
Okay.
and sometimes he would kind of mock me like I was being a baby.
And what about him after he was incarcerated? Did you seek help after that, or just not at all?
No, I talked to my sister, and just some friends and things, and just decided to do things for myself. And the more I did for myself, the better I felt. And so that's when I made just a big change, and it's it's just been really good. But I've never actually seen professional help or anything. This is the first time. And
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here. That took a
well, thank
lot.
you. It did. It took a lot of
Takes a lot. It's a
lot of
great
courage.
strength to have. So I'm very proud of you.
Thank
Because
you.
that's not an easy thing to do, is to come to terms with
No,
that.
no, it's not.
We all feel really strong,
Mhm.
and when you have to kind of admit
Yeah.
that sometimes you're a little weaker than you think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have it all figured out.
Right. But I'm glad you're here. Let's see what we can do about that.
Okay.
So I'm really trying to figure out what's happening with your anxiety. Why are you feeling so anxious? What else is? Have you
Well,
have anything new happening in your
Okay,
life?
so the main thing is that he's coming out, but yes,
Okay.
since being in this apartment building, I've gotten to know other people, and there's one in particular that I've gotten to be real friendly with. There's a man named Alan. Who, I see you smiling.
Yeah, I see you.
Yeah, I am.
You're almost blushing.
he
He
does.
must be very nice.
He does make me blush. We started out just being friends. He said hello to me one day in the laundromat, and we just kind of chatted a little bit. Didn't think too much of it, and then sometimes we would spend, maybe watch TV together or something, or barbecue out by the apartment pool or whatever. And then, over the last year or so, it's actually become a full relationship, and he knows about Carl. I just, I obviously can't have both.
Does Carl know about Alan?
Oh gosh, no, and that won't be pretty when he finds out, or if he finds out.
So that might be part of the reason you're feeling so anxious.
Yeah.
So,
Because if I do, if I don't go back with Carl, he thinks he's going to come live with me or whatever, and if I don't do that, it's going to be a big blow up, and I am a little bit afraid of him. I don't think he's going to give up easily. And if I do leave, don't stay with Alan, then I'm in for more of what I was doing before.
okay. Do you feel like your relationship with Alan is not moving forward the way you'd like it to?
It's just really different. With Carl, it was passionate. It was, lively and not always good. But sometimes when it was good, it was really good. It was, real high highs and real low lows. With Alan, it's good, but it's good all the time. It's very stable, but sometimes it doesn't have the same kind of passion. And I think, I don't know if that's normal or if that's a good thing.
I think that's cute. On a scale of 0 to 10,
Mm-hmm.
okay, with 0 being the worst that it could be,
Mm-hmm.
and 10 being the best that it could be,
Mm-hmm.
how would you rate your relationship with Carl at this moment?
Mm. An 8, probably an 8.
An 8? Okay. And let's ask the same question about Alan. From 0 to 10, 10 being the best,
Oh,
how would you rate your relationship with Alan?
that's kind of hard because he's been in jail for 3 years. But
Not Carl, but Alan.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's-
what was the first one? you
The
asked
first
me?
one was Carl.
Oh, no. Okay, I'm sorry. That's not an 8. Yeah, not an 8.
Okay.
I mean, that's hard because he's been in jail. And because he's in jail, he's, much more, I love you, we don't have the fights like we used to because we don't really see each other.
Right.
But it's more that I know that, I know, who he is. And right now there's a contained situation, but when he gets out, it probably will be like it was before. So I would probably have to say a 6. Yeah.
Now, how do you think your life will be different if Carl came home and the two of you were back together, different than it is now? What changes do you think that you'd see?
If he came home, what changes
If he came home today,
it would be like it was before. I would have less freedom. I would be on edge all the time. I would be scared. The bruises would probably start. Strangers come into our house all the time. What I didn't tell you is that he was incarcerated because he was selling drugs and he was doing some burglarizing, and I knew about it. I didn't participate, but I enjoyed the benefits of the things that it afforded me. But your question was, how would my life be different? It would be a lot more tense. Yeah.
I'd like to ask you a question, and it's going to sound a bit far-fetched, but just go with it, really. So I'd like you to imagine that you go to sleep, and when you wake up, all the problems that you're having right now, your anxieties, your stress, your worry, all of that is gone. Okay? But you don't know that this miracle has happened until you wake up. What would be different when you wake up that will let you know that there's been a change in your life?
I would wake up without that sense of dread. I would feel free. I would be just like a weight had been lifted off of me. I think that I would feel more free to really give 100% in this relationship with Alan. I think that my life would improve.
Is that something that you're interested in doing? Giving more? Do you feel like you've been holding back with Alan?
Yeah, but I didn't realize it till I just said it.
Okay. So let me ask a question. Has there ever been a time with Carl that you didn't feel stressed out, you didn't feel worried or afraid?
Maybe the first few months that we were together, it was really good. Yeah, that was a time that it was really good.
Okay, what was different about that?
Well, there was no. Well, I didn't know that he was doing illegal things.
Okay.
And he was always good to me. He was always nice to me. He would buy me things. He would take me places. We would laugh, and but it was short-lived.
And what was different during that time that made that relationship so nice and felt like that?
Well, the absence of the abuse.
Okay. Okay. Now, how long have you been feeling this stress? Has it just been since you heard that he was getting out, or have you been feeling it for a while now?
When he was first incarcerated, I was devastated, and I was, so unhappy, and I cried, for a few months. And then I started to enjoy the freedom, and that's when I, made these changes. I moved and everything. And then I don't think I was feeling any of that stress or dread until I met Alan, and then we started to, get serious, because I didn't think it was good. I wasn't looking. I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. And then I realized I kind of had a dilemma. And then I get a call one day saying, hey, babe, I'm going to be getting out, in a few months here. And, then I started having, the mixed feelings, because then I realized, the dilemma I was in, the choice I was going to have to make.
Okay. So your relationship with Alan, you said it's really nice and treats you really well.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel afraid with Alan?
Never. Never.
And he does nice things for you.
Always, yeah.
How do you feel when you're with him?
I feel alive. He makes me feel special. I feel normal. I think that's how people are supposed to feel. It's good. It's a good feeling.
So on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the best, how pleased are you with the changes that you've made in your life?
I am really pleased with the changes I've made in my life. They've all been positive. Yeah.
Do you feel like you'd be willing to let go of some of those wonderful changes that you've made in exchange for Carl?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I'm just afraid to tell him.
I can understand that. I think we might have to work on some steps if that's what you decide to do. you know, and do you have some family members or friends that could support you if you made that decision?
Well, I think my parents are in Arizona, and I think that it definitely would, I think they'd support me and they would help me. They'd be glad. I've kept a lot of this from them, but they know something's wrong. They know, because I avoid them. I don't call them as much. And then I have a sister too that has been telling me to get rid of the bum. She never liked him even when he was being nice.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd have a lot of support.
All right. You know what? I think that it sounds like, you're very happy with the life that you've made for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. And from what you're saying to me, it sounds like you're really happy with the way this relationship with your new guy, Alan, is going.
Yeah.
Okay. But you still feel a little conflicted about Carl.
Yeah. I love him,
Okay.
but I know what comes with it.
Okay. So what I'd like you to do, when you come back, we'll meet again in about a week or two.
Okay.
Okay. I want you to take notice of how you feel when you're talking to Carl on the phone, and how you feel when you're talking to Alan, or when you're around Alan. I really want you to notice how your body's feeling. Are you tensing? Is your breathing changing? Are you smiling?
I already know what the answer's going to be.
And then,
Yeah.
come back and let's talk about that. But I want you to really pay attention and observe that and see how you're feeling.
Okay.
Because I think it might help you make a decision.
Okay.
Okay. But let's not do anything until, you really kind of check out and kind of examine every little bit of that. Because it is a big decision.
Yeah,
to make.
it is. It is.
All right, that's great. So let's schedule for 2 weeks from now?
Yes.
Okay. I think that'll give you a little bit of time to kind of think about it, do your observations, think about it, then when you come back, we can discuss it.
Okay.
All right, that sounds great. All right, it's good to see you again.
All right,
Thanks so much for coming in.
All right, I'll be back. Thank
All
you.
right, bye.
Thanks.